your boy DJ Wolf here. Got a couple of things on my mind. Last night I was watching a YouTube channel, the same one who actually I debated about. I talked about it a while back. The channel name is BB, and I'll leave it at that. 2 B's. Where the host of the channel had said in a statement last year, before that, it was something like that. Well, last year, and they said, I quote, "There's no such thing as black buying power." Okay. It is reported in this country, black people, African Americans, spend an average I think it said like overall $2 or $3 trillion a year. Now I'll be honest, I don't know if it's that much, but I know it's pretty close. Or at least I think it is anyway. We do spend quite a bit of money in this country on a lot of things and a lot of frivolous stuff. That's a known fact. I don't care what anybody say. I mean, we see it happen in our culture all the time. Specifically with stuff like Nike and stuff, right? Well, anyway, so I was maybe watching the news, and there's several media sources that reported that Black Panther, the Marvel vehicle that's been around for over 50 years, that finally got a shot at a film version. Reportedly, from several media sources, says the Weeknd, 3 to 4 day Weeknd, made over $400 million in one weekend. That's unheard of. That's unheard of for a regular film. That's unheard of for even. I don't even think Star Wars made that money in one weekend. I don't think they have. But it's already listed. This film is already listed as the single highest grossing film already of all time in from the first week out. That's my understanding. This is just the first week. I mean, this is just for the weekend, from Friday to Monday. Just think what it's going to do this week. And that's by word of mouth. But they had predicted that this film was going to make a ton of money anyway. But I wanted to say two things. Well, first of all, before I get let me go ahead and say it. I heard another YouTuber was saying something about that Black America represent 37% of the box office sales this weekend for Black Panther. Now, I don't know that to be a fact, but they were saying that the 37% equals out to $87 million. That's 1/4 of the total amount that was made over the weekend. That's a lot of money. And it brought to my attention that this other YouTuber talking about there's no such thing as black buying power, but I know we spent millions. I don't know exactly, but it was reported $87 million. And I don't know that to be a fact, but then I wouldn't be surprised, because black buying power do spend money on all kinds of stuff. I've seen them do it: televisions and clothes and definitely tennis shoes. Anytime you go and buy some Nike tennis shoes for $300 a pop per person, especially with like the latest and greatest, yeah, there's black buying power, black spending power. It's definitely there. It's definitely there. I don't care what anybody say. And to sit there and say that that's not true is completely irresponsible and a total lie. Okay? Because if we want to have black buying power or black spending power, or build on black wealth, we could. You don't have to wait 50 years for somebody to come out with a black superhero movie from a major studio. You didn't have to wait. You know, I'm glad it's here, but you didn't have to wait. That's the way I see that. You know. But getting to the other part, I was watching the channel, the channel called, well, I'll give it the initials BB, and of course she had another person on there with her, and they're talking about, about the celebrations of the movie and all of that, and I talked to somebody personally yesterday when I was at the gym, a friend of ours, who actually went to see the show on Sunday, and they told me, they said people dress up in all kinds of stuff and cosplay and all of that, and African garb. And I made a comment because there was one comment that another person said, reported on YouTube, that said one guy had wrote a letter. I think something online or something. They said, "Thank you, Marvel, and thank you this, blah blah blah." I cried when and I'm like, okay, that's a little extra, and I was gonna comment on that. But I said, and that's when I made the comment. I said, black people get extra this movie, because that's all I said. I didn't call anybody out the name or anything like that. And of course, they blocked me. That's the first time I've ever been blocked from any chat on YouTube ever in the 9 years I've been on. But that's fine. That's their channel, because apparently they don't want to hear anybody's opinion but their own. That's fine. But the broad's stupid anyway, so. But then I got to talking to my wife about that. My wife pretty much was saying kind of the same thing. She kind of jumped on that too. She's like, well, you know what? Black people celebrate just like they do any other movie. Star Wars, you dress like Star Wars characters. You go to, Lord of the Rings. People dress like Lord of the Rings characters. You go to see, or back in the day, it was the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and even the resurgence of that when they did the sequel. I think it was a reboot. They did a reboot. I think they did the live TV version of it. And they did a sequel to it. Those fans got dressed up and did cosplay with that. In a way, she made sense about that, and somebody else on YouTube said the same thing. And I started thinking, I said, you know what? That's true. If there's one thing to take away from this movie, it helped a resurgence of Black pride. Now, whether that lasts or not is another story. You shouldn't need a movie, and this is my opinion, you shouldn't need a movie to tell you that you need to have Black pride yourself. You really should. You should wait for a movie to do that. Black people should have been doing that all along. Okay? But then I hear these comments about people, oh yeah, well, it's bringing pride to ourselves, this one movie. Hell, you shouldn't wait no more. I'm just like, to me, that's why I don't care what anybody say. Black pride shouldn't just be coming off just a movie. Black pride should be within yourself, regardless of what you're going through. You may not have a full understanding of your culture, but you should at least have pride in who your heritage is and what your heritage is. But you shouldn't need a movie to tell you that. That's what I'm saying. You should. Now, I even consider wearing my African. I was supposed to wear my African shirt the church this past Sunday, but unfortunately I didn't go. I just wasn't up to going. I really wasn't, because they had 2 services, and I just did not feel like going. I just didn't want to be. It's not that I don't love my church. It's not that I don't love my church, but I just didn't want to be bothered. I just didn't want to do it. I didn't feel like going. I honestly didn't. I'm just in the mood. I got stuff going on in my mind. I got things going on here, and I got things going on in my hometown that I'm concerned about. I just wasn't into it. I really wasn't. Because people, I'll tell you about that on another podcast, but back to this. I've been hearing nothing but glowing reviews about this movie. I mean, a lot of good horror reviews. I'm not gonna get into the vernacular. I mean, the semantics. What do they call that? I'm not gonna get into the crux of or the inner workings of the plot in the movie because I haven't seen it. And I'll be honest with you, I never actually read Black Panther. I've read Black Panther, but I never, as a kid, I tried to read it, and I just wasn't into it at the time because it was a different type of comic book. To be honest, and of course, under American culture, under American history, you don't learn about black culture. Black culture wasn't. I mean, African culture wasn't really taught in my schools. They never taught world history. They taught American history. World history was not really taught, which I think is a shame. They should teach you world history so you have a better understanding about your world, not just American history. There's things about American history and American culture they don't teach you about either, and cultures of other races in America they don't teach you about. That's also a known fact. They don't. That's also a damn shame. But nevertheless, you know, I'm going to see the movie. I'm going to give a full review like every other movie I've been going to see the last 3-4 years that I've been, since I've been doing movie reviews on YouTube. I will be definitely reviewing this. I will give you another review on it. It was, I just finally got to see that. It was a trip. Let's put it like that. That movie was a trip. There's things about it that I understood. There's some things about it I don't understand, but it was good. And I told my wife, I think the movie was really reference about child abuse, and that was the strongest point to me. And there was a lesson learned behind, and it was like somebody was saying in previous reviews I read about that movie, it was emotional. It was emotional. It almost got to me, man. I tell you a few times. I was thinking about that. I was like, man, wow. It was a hard. It was definitely a horror movie with a strong lesson about abuse, and I figured that out early on in the film. It was that good. It was a good movie, very good movie. It was kind of creepy, but it was a very good film. That's about all I gotta say about the movie. I don't really want to talk about it. I want to really continue talking about Black Panther. For other reports that I heard and things I've seen, it does. I think this film personally, I haven't seen it yet, but I do think just the fact alone that you have a strong black character in the movie that's lead in the film, who's black, male, masculine, I think it needs to be seen. That alone needs to be seen. And I thought about that. I said, regardless of who wrote the movie, or who wrote the script, or who wrote the book, to be able to see a masculine male black character is sends a powerful message to our culture, man. It does. I mean, that's undeniable. This is a very, very powerful message to our culture based on that alone. Could Black Panther be used as an example of a male role model? I don't know. Like I said again, I haven't seen it, but to be able to see that on the screen, and I think does say something, and should say something to us. Will this movie change some people's perceptions of African Americans? Maybe, maybe not. Will it change our communities based on what we see in the movie? No, it won't. Because after all, in the end of the day, it is a movie, but it's a movie that did instill black pride. The change got to be within you, regardless if it's a movie or not. We shouldn't have to wait for a movie to tell us that we need to be prideful of ourselves. We shouldn't have to have a movie to say that we need to build our communities. No. That change should start within you. You know? One thing I will say, like I said, I haven't seen the movie again. I haven't seen the film. But it should spark conversation about people in our communities taking pride, not only pride, but building wealth in our community. You know, it should spark conversation about that, if anything, because think about it, the movie itself was bankrolled by the Disney company. Okay, it really should be. You know, it was bankrolled by the Disney company. It was made in conjunction with Marvel Studios, which is the proprietor of Black Panther anyway. And like I said, it should spark conversation about building black wealth and building black businesses among everything else. It should. You know, I don't see any reason why it shouldn't. You know, because you shouldn't have to wait on a movie like this to spark conversation about your community heritage. You shouldn't. I mean, that's the thing that I'm talking about. You know, because I hear, you know, I saw a lot of interviews over the weekend where people say, "Well, this will help us get and make a better understanding." No, this should not help you alone. Should not allow you to do what you should have been doing already. You should be doing it anyway. You know, that's the thing I'm talking about. You should already be doing that. You know, and growing up from where I grew up from, I'll say this. You know, you had people who had negative connotations about their own communities. You know, but people are, well, I didn't feel this way before the movie, but now after the movie I feel a certain kind of way. You should have been feeling a certain kind of way long before the movie came out. You know, that's all I'm saying. People getting happy about it. I mean, nothing wrong with you getting happy about the movie, because it looks like a really good movie. And I heard nothing but glowing reviews, and I'm actually, and I don't mean in a bad way, but I am butt psyched to see this film. I really am. I wanted to go see. Truthfully, I told my wife I want to go see this movie on Saturday. I think one of us she had something going on Saturday. Then I actually was going to try to sneak and go see it Sunday, but my old lady's car stalled, and I ended up doing another podcast. A lot of podcasts I hadn't done in a while, which I call my 6-month podcast. Seems like I only do podcasts every 6 months. And then I wanted to go see it yesterday, and first she was game for it, and then she turned around, oh my gosh. I was gun ho to see it yesterday. I really was. And we could have saw it yesterday. She won't go. So we're talking about we're gonna try to schedule for Friday. I'm telling you right now, if she don't go see it by Friday, I'm going first thing Saturday morning, the first show I can get to, I'm going to see it by myself. Popcorn in one hand, soda in the other hand, well, maybe soda, maybe water. Hot dog in another, I'm going to see it. Because I don't think I can wait much longer. What I might do is just ride out, go to my son's place and go see it with him at the movie theater, which is right down the street from him, so right the road. Maybe I'll do that. Because I don't even think he's seen it yet. But I definitely... Oh, jeez, come on. You knew you had to go out there any damn way. Let's get real. Oh, goodness gracious. But I'm very excited about seeing it on a serious note. I really am. And the actor who plays Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, which I think Black Panther's true identity is it T'Challa? I think that's how you pronounce it. But this guy, I'll tell you right now, this guy's a phenom, man. And I think he really took it to heart about the movie himself. I watched him on Sway a couple of nights ago, and he talked about how growing up he anticipated something, and that anticipation never came through fruition, and now kids get a chance to see something. I'm about to rewatch that piece again, because I caught it, but it was something to that, I was half sleeping, I saw it, but he did mention something about that, about you know, kids' anticipation, hopes was, said something like about that, and it never came for him. He was talking about when he was growing up, and he said now you see the kids' eyes about the anticipation of something that comes through, and he got really emotional, man. I ain't gonna lie. When he started crying, I cried too, man, because this is a guy who really take his craft to heart. I mean, and he's been known to play superheroes before, but they were just heroes, but they were heroes nevertheless. He played James Brown, Thurgood Marshall, and Jackie Robinson. Okay, 3 of the biggest heroes of their era, and Chadwick Boseman has played very strong black men in these films. This brother is an absolute phenom. He is the next Denzel Washington as far as I'm concerned, because of his strong acting abilities as a character actor, and he's that good. But I'm gonna tell you right now, he never finished the interview. This is on Sway. Whatever he did say that he finished, I think he was finished with, but he just couldn't get through the rest of it with the other cast members. And based on what he said, understandably so, because at to a point he just started crying, man. He left, he walked out. He couldn't even finish it. I felt for him, and I understood what he was talking about. Because I went through some stuff going on when I living too. So, and I don't want to go into detail about it, but I know what he's talking about. I know exactly what he's talking about. My thing is this, and I'll probably talk about a little bit more about it later in the podcast. I may be trying to get Block Talk Radio back on this week. Here's my thing. It's been long overdue for a black superhero to be out, and I'm glad in 2018 something like this finally came through. Now, whether it changes our neighborhoods for the better as a result, whether it motivates black people to do better in their neighborhoods, I don't know. I don't think so. I think for the moment it brings us a little closer together in terms of pride. That I do think it does. At least to recognize that we do have culture behind us. There is a culture out there, even though the movie is fictional film. But it does give you hope in terms of what you can do. But you don't need to wait on the movie to tell you that. You don't. One guy said, if it takes a movie to get people to learn their history, and learn their history, this movie is a fictional film. Part of it's based on African culture, but part of it's based on fiction. So if you really want to learn your history, read a book. And I think I said that in the blogs. Not blog, in the comment section on YouTube. And you really, to be honest, you don't need a film to tell you about your history. Go read it. Go rent out videos about your history, okay? Actual documentaries about it. There's volumes of it. You don't need a fictional movie to tell you about that. I will say that. And you definitely don't need a fictional movie to tell you about instilling black pride in your community. Because at the end of the day, you should be doing it on your own. Movie or not. It's your boy DJ Wolf. That's all I gotta say. I think I'm gonna continue talking about it all this week, throughout the rest of this week, and probably part next week, in continuation with Black History Month, among other things. All right, guys, DJ Wolf. Thanks for listening on Spreaker. Thanks for listening and watching on YouTube. I really appreciate that. God bless. I'll talk to you soon. I'm out.